Hello, my name is Heather Hara, and I'm going to break down how to do downward facing dog and maybe offer a few tips or adjustments to make it more accessible if it's one of those postures that still feels foreign. Maybe you're a beginner and you're just wanting to learn how to place your body properly into downward facing dog. So let's go ahead and start. Let's start on our hands and our knees. Okay. So from hands and knees, first I want you to check in with your hands. There's a really slight outer turn to the wrist. So you want to make sure your pointer fingers are forward and you've got like the letter L between the right and the left hands. And then with your hands shoulder width distance apart and the pointer finger forward, you want to take your hand one paw print or one hand print forward. Okay, and now curl your toes under, suck your stomach in and lift up. You should land in a plank position. Okay, so plank is about the length of your down dog. Now, from this plank pose, bend your knees, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Now, if you still feel like you're a little far away or too long, you can walk your hands back or you can walk your feet in. Now, you want to suck your stomach in towards your spine. And no matter how flexible you think you are, you want to bend the knees and let the heels soften towards the floor. Let me move this so you guys can see. So heels aren't quite touching, but I'm relaxing them down towards the earth. So let's check back in with our hands. We've got the pointer fingers forward, slight outer turn to the wrist, and then we're pushing the hands forward to send the chest back. Now, if you hug your elbows towards each other, those are the eyes of the elbows. If you hug them towards each other and turn the eyes of the elbows forward, that's going to open or broaden the upper back, which is a really good thing. Don't forget the hugging in of the stomach. Elbows are facing forward, forearms are pushing towards each other. The chest slides back towards the thighs. And let's go ahead and have a little rest. Okay, so essentially an upside down V. Knees always bent. The energy of the hands is pushing down and forwards. The energy of the feet is pushing down and back. Let's talk about modifications. So if you have really limited mobility in the upper body, sometimes two blocks, one under each hand. And sometimes if the shoulders are really tight, you want to go a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart. Make sure when you're using these blocks that you can kind of wrap your thumb and your pinky finger around the outer edges so that you know you're not going to slide off. And then when you are using these blocks, make sure they're on your sticky mat, on your yoga mat versus on like the wood floor, because then they will slide. So from here, curl the toes under, find my way into plank pose. Okay, checking that my heels are over the balls of my feet, my stomach is in, my neck is long, and then I'm pushing back into downward facing dog. Now, when I have my hands on the blocks, I can still keep my knees bent and my heels are almost touching. The neck is always relaxed in downward facing dog. So the blocks is a really beautiful option to elevate your practice up enough that you have some freedom here. Go ahead and come down onto your hands and your knees. Okay. Last modification is sometimes the shoulders are too fatigued to stay up on the hands. So you can take a version called puppy pose, which is from the knees. You could do it hands on the floor or hands on blocks. But what you want to do is mimic that same softening of the spine in down dog in puppy pose. So the hands are placed the same. I'm going to actually start with my hips over my knees, walk my hands forward, and then it's still active in the upper body because we're building towards that, right? But my chest is pushing back. I'm going to adjust my knees back until I can get this balance between softening the chest down, but still holding myself up off of the floor. Okay. When in doubt, if you can't do downward facing dog, because of the weight bearing in the shoulders, you can always just start in tabletop, and that's enough weight bearing that it will actually still help you grow your strength. I hope some of this helped you find some new space in your downward facing dog. Subscribe to my channel so that you can know when I upload new videos. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.